Happy New Year to you, and greetings from Dallas. It's Sales Coach Chuck. Just wanted to wish all of you a Happy New Year, and today I'm really excited about sharing one of the things that's very close to my heart as it relates to not only my professional life but also my personal life, and that is the ongoing setting of goals, written goals, having accountability, and all that kind of stuff. And today in our session, we're going to make this really simple. I'm going to give you just some real basic things that you can do right now, and then I'm going to give you the opportunity to actually get into about a 90-page workbook and really make a difference for you in 2008 or any future year that you're going to be hopefully working on your goals. And goals have been an important part of my life. I remember 20 years ago going back to a Tony Robbins course, and I remember Tony always saying that he checked out for a couple days every October or November to go do his goals, and he'd get in stasis and he'd get in quiet zone and those kind of things. Very, very powerful to be able to do that. The fact of the matter is, most salespeople aren't going to do that, though. Maybe 5%. In fact, maybe less than 5% really have sales goals for the year. In fact, if you look at sales management, I think that number is probably the same. And I know over the last couple of weeks here, not only working locally in the Dallas marketplace, but working at a couple other locations across the country, I found it very interesting. Some companies, the goal-setting stuff was first and foremost on their minds. People were getting things done. Whiteboards were full of information for the year. And then I went into other places, and not much was going on at all. So, it's a great barometer of who's going to do good in 08 and who's taking the right steps and who's not. But you know what? It's not too late. You can go in January, February, March, and April and work your goals out for the whole year and then get busy with them. So let's start you off with just some real simple stuff, okay? Now, before I do, I need to say this. For those of you that are watching the video on YouTube, please go over to my video website because there's going to be a lot of free tools there for you. And my video website is getsalesresultsnow.com. getsalesresultsnow.com. There's going to be an article there. There's going to be some downloads there for you. And you know what? You can go access that information. So here we go. Let me just give you the simplicity thing that you can do to get your year started off right. First off, I've got this form, and it's free at getsalesresultsnow.com. And this is what I've done recently with a lot of my companies. It's real simple. So what happens here is the person puts out their name, and then here there's two questions. Are you serious, or are you just kidding around? And I have people check that off. Are you really going to be serious about your goals, or are you just kidding? You just wasting my time, you're wasting your time, that kind of thing. And then, here we go. How simple is this? The top 3 personal goals for 2008. And of course I give people time to think about it and write out different notes and those kind of things so they can put their top 3 personal goals that they want to go after. Then here we go on the professional side. The top 3 professional goals for 2008 or whatever year it might be. And last but not least, some stuff just down here for some ideas and thoughts and comments about working their goals for the year. So this is as simple as a denominator as I can give it to you. Now the other thing that's important here is I put this little quote, and this is by George Zalke, a guy that I saw 20 years ago. I'll never forget he said this, and I've kept this quote near and dear to my heart throughout all these years. And he said this. He said, "Commitment is doing the thing you said you would do long after the mood and emotion you said it in has left you." Commitment is doing the thing you said you would do long after the mood and emotion you said it in has left you. And that really has a lot to do with your goals. One company here in Dallas, we actually did these sheets, and we did actually an almost full-day program. But everybody turned these in. We put a goal board up in their office, so everybody's accountable for all their stuff for the year. And, of course, they know what the commitment phase is. Now, the next thing that you can do is you can take this form right here, and this is called the Goal Action or the Goal Mastery Action Plan form. And you can take the top 3 personal goals and the top 3 professional goals, and actually each one of those you can write out a full-page sheet. So it's real simple, and if you follow along in the article that I have at getsalesresultsnow.com, you'll be able to see this. But what's the title? The plan for completion, expected roadblocks, knowledge or coaching that you could go gain that would help you with your goal, a start date, an ETA, estimated time of arrival, or accomplishment, okay? What's the reward? What's the consequence? Who's going to be on your accountability team? Will you publish your goals to your accountability team? Will you publish your goals to others? and then some other areas for thoughts and comments. So if you're really serious about this sheet here with your 3 top personal and professional goals, you'll print out 6 of these forms right here and write out that whole story about what it is. Be specific. You know, I tell people in my goal mastery session, I say that, you know, brevity shows a lack of commitment. And brevity in working out your goals and writing them out and being very specific. You cannot be general with your goals, but brevity shows a lack of commitment. Now, just a couple days ago, I got a great email in from a gentleman who went to my Goal Mastery 2-day course, and this was up in Michigan, and it was back in February, and he wrote me this really nice long letter, but I just wanted to tell you a couple things that he got from the Goal Mastery course, and I'm going to show you the workbook here in just a moment that he actually went through. And he went on to say this, and his name is Matt West, by the way, and he works for the Thompson Company. And he said this: with your guidance and support, I increased my overall sales by 40%, or a $203,000 annual gain, and increased my income level by over 35%. The irony is I worked less hours, had more vacation time, and was 43% more effective through the sales call day. And this was a start of something that he started back in April 3rd when he came to this course, the Goal Mastery course, got really serious. In fact, he told me he wanted to buy a red Mustang, and we had a red Mustang brought to the 2-day Goal Mastery course, and he actually drove it in front of about 120 to 130 people that were in that audience. So, you know, very powerful. And he goes on to say some other things that really struck home for him, but he also said this about goal setting. He said that goal setting gave him a roadmap to reach his targets and aspirations. And I'll never forget, you know, it was about the second week in December, I get this phone call from him, and you know what? He hit his goals for the year, surpassed it, and look at that. $203,000 annual gain, and his income level rose by 35%. Hello, this is called a clue. We know that this stuff really works if you really want it to. Now, the last thing I want to share with you is up on my website at chuckbauer.com, is I have my Goal Mastery workbook that I make available to the seminars and the companies that buy the Goal Mastery seminar. It's an 89-page workbook, and it's really self-explanatory, but it's got a ton of good information in here. And I've made this available at a special price for only $10. And you can download this from an emailable or off the internet as a link, and you'll need to go in there. We take all the credit cards and all that kind of stuff and just go to the store. But it has everything here for you. But let me just share, I'm just going to go through the table of contents here for you. But there's a bunch of articles about goals, articles that I've written and other people have written as well. And then it has the Goal Action Mastery Plan forms. It has actual sheets that my students have written out their goals. There's a whole bunch of them. There's like 4 or 5 here that you get to see. In addition to that, there's a bunch of forms, like the weekly PMS chart, the sales PMS chart, a life purpose worksheet, personal mission statement, 10 keys to time management, a business mission statement, 15 big things that you want to accomplish in your life, 546 goal sheet, a monthly's goal chart, a commitment list, all sorts of good stuff. And better than that is there's a 52-week accountability program that is built into the workbook. So basically what the workbook does, it will, I mean, you can figure it out in 2 seconds just by starting page 1 and keep going. But what it's going to have you do, it's going to have you go to 10 categories. Most of them are about personal development. The other ones are about your professional development. You'll take each category and you're actually going to write out 10 goals per category. So 10 categories, 10 goals, you're going to write out 100. Then what you're going to do is you're going to do the Chuck Bauer triage system, and you're going to bring those 100 down to the top 10, and then you're going to come back and finish out a goal action plan form for all top 10 of your goals, and then you know what, you're really set. And that's exactly what Matt West did back in April of 07 when he came to that Goal Mastery course, graduated that course, filled out this workbook, and really got to work. And there's been a lot of other ones. So it's an incredible workbook. So remember, go to getsalesresultsnow.com to get the article and all the freebie stuff. And then if you want to go ahead and invest in the workbook, hello, it's a investment, $10. Okay, just go to chuckbauer.com. There's an icon right on the front page. Click on that. That'll take you to the store. Boom, you pay for it, you get a link back, you open up the link, and you can download the workbook. So 89 pages of power-packed information. And you know what, if it's something you don't want to do now and you want to do later, well, it'll always be there for you. So some great information. It's a great foundation to start your year off right. Whether you're going to focus on personal or professional, this information will help any of you out there take advantage and really have a strong 2008. So with that, you guys have a great sales month. You'll be hearing from me soon. Take care. Godspeed. Good selling. Bye-bye for now.